All right, so it's reunion Sunday, friend. It's reunion Sunday. It looked like Porsha Papa Bitch Eyeballs Out Williams, formerly known as Gobadia. She's on the internet and it sounds like she ready. She ready for the reunion. She ready for war. We're going to talk about what she posted today. We also going to talk about Clarissa and Laila Ali. Because Laila Ali said, if you give me a couple million, you know, I'll fight Clarissa. And Clarissa was like, I was already waiting on you at the door. So Billy Badass, Miss Catch a Bully with her teeth, with her bare hands, is trying to take on one of the greats, child. Then Carlos King sat down with Kimmy and Letitia to talk about the new season of Love and Marriage Huntsville and the trailer. And in the trailer, Miss Nell, they dropped a super trailer. In this trailer, Nell and Kimmy is giving, if you nuck, then I'm gonna buck. Baby, one thing we can count on is Kimmy deflecting and being in denial about bald-headed ass Maurice. Martell lying, getting ready to get into a fight with the Scotts brothers. And Destiny being a bona fide 304 from Detroit. Exactly, because they said she messing with Lance. Ken friend Will. Allegedly the godson. I'm going to tell y'all about the godson because you know my sneaky I Spy detective ass. I've been friends with the godson ever since we seen the godson at the wedding. And I think that him and Destiny been messing around and Lance is the lie. Exactly. But we gonna talk about it. We gonna talk about a lot. I know a lot of y'all don't mess with Love and Marriage Huntsville. So Love and Marriage Huntsville will be last. You can drop down in the comments for the timestamps. But for now, happy Sunday. Exactly. Get you a little cocktail. We finna talk for just a tad bit about what the hell is going on. And make sure y'all subscribe. Like I said, share me in the group chat if somebody want to have a snickle and a giggle or whatever, so I can get to my goal. Exactly. What we gonna talk about first? First, let's talk about Klay and Meg the Stallion. Okay. So first on the docket, we're going to talk about Meg and Klay. Then we're going to talk about Porsha. Then we'll talk about Clarissa. And last, like I said, we'll talk about Carlos King and Love and Marriage Huntsville. So remember the other day, all over the blogs, Meg was posted up with her Beyonce Austin Powers curly wig. And in the background, it looked like Klay Thompson, the NBA player, was sitting relaxing behind them. So everybody was like, oh, they dating. A lot of people was like, those just rumors. What if they at the same location? You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all stop hating all of the things. You know they love to hate Meg. I live for Meg. I'm a hottie. I'm a plus size hottie. The moral of the story is, girl, so Klay Thompson. Klay Thompson confirmed that they were dating. So he posted Meg on his story. He reposted it. And it's Meg standing in front of him, kind of kissing on him, them holding hands, and all of the other things. I said, that is so cute. I am so glad Meg went from that dwarf Tory. What was her ex-boyfriend name? The Ghost Party. And look where Party at now. Remember, after they broke up, he wrote a diss track about her. He started messing with the other little rapper girl. Now look at you. I heard you was on them ski slopes too. Exactly. The moral of the story is, so for those of y'all who don't know who Klay Thompson is, let me just give you a quick rundown of Klay Thompson. So Klay Thompson is a tall, light-skinned persuasion. He fine as that thing. Exactly. He's an NBA player. He used to play for the He used to play on the Golden State Warriors. He was a part of their championship team. He's a 4-time NBA champ. He used to play with Steph Curry or whatever. Anyway, so like I said, girl, he a 4-time NBA champ, 30 years old. No kids, no wife. Like, Pac, you need some Meg in your life. Hey, worth $70 million. He's worth $70 million. Dollars, friend, dollars. Exactly. So he just, he used to be with Golden State Warriors, but he signed a $50 million contract for the Dallas Mavs. So he probably live in Dallas. Megan, girl, tell me if you gonna be in Dallas. Can I come chill by the hottie pool? Exactly what area you stay in, girl. Exactly, Meg. Shout out to you. Exactly. If you in Dallas, can we get a hottie exclusive concert? You already here because your new boo stay here. Girl, somebody tell Meg I said call me. Anyway, so that's what the tea is. Megan is confirmed to be dating Klay Thompson. And I'm sure the Meg haters gonna drag her. She talked to everybody. If y'all ain't dragging Lori Harvey and Jennifer Lopez and all of these Caucasian persuasion girlies, then don't drag Meg. She fine, she young, she rich, she ain't got no kids, and she got a degree whenever you get through. Let her date all of the fine, rich NBA players that she wants to. Shout out to Meg. Right. Shout out to Meg. They make a cute couple. Both of them tall. Both of them rich. Both of them don't have no kids. Exactly. So, yes, Meg is dating Klay. Tell me if y'all here for Meg dating Klay. Do you think they're a cute couple? All of the things. Are the girlies mad? Most of all, are the men mad? They'll be in the comments. Some baddies. Some baddie-ass baddies. Anyway, so let's talk about Porsha real quick. So we all know that the reunion is tonight. Now, I'm excited for the reunion, so make sure you have your notifications on. I'm probably going to go live this tonight, or, you know, give y'all a little something about my initial thoughts for the reunion. I feel like, first of all, we know half of the reunion is going to be them getting ready, and we might not get a lot of tea from episode 1. I feel like we're going to get a little bit of tea, and then we're going to get like a cliffhanger. And reunion season part 2 is really gonna be that girl. So I'm not sure if we're gonna get a lot of stuff happening this reunion. We are gonna see Shamia hating ass and her hating face. In case y'all don't know what I'm talking about, go look at my live from yesterday. I showed y'all Shamia's face. Or tonight, friend. If you didn't catch my live yesterday, watch Shamia's face when Porsha walks in and hugs Andy and sit down. And then we gonna circle back and talk about who jealous of who. Because remember, all season it was Porsha, it was jealous of Shamia. Take a look at this reunion and we gonna circle back to who really jealous of who. Shout out to my Taurus girlies. Anyway, so today on Porsha's mind you, do you notice? So first of all, we already know that Cynthia and Phaedra both told us that Porsha read down and ate the girls up at the reunion. In so many words, that's what Cynthia and Phaedra told us. Notice Shamia's been rather quiet on the internet lately. She's been rather quiet on the internet lately, child. Porsha posted this today. I hope I can't show y'all this, and if I go on live, I'm gonna show y'all some of this stuff. But this is like one of the most infamous speeches. I forgot this lady's name, but she reposted this.
Someone hurts me or does something to me, it rolls off my shoulders pretty easy.
It rolls off my shoulders.
Hey, will you forgive me for what I did to you? I'm gonna forgive him and say, girl, come on, let's move on. We get this all right. I'm wired that way.
Tell me if y'all know who this is.
But if I find out, I said, don't get it twisted. If I find out that someone's been scheming, that's a whole different story. Because scheming implies pre-planning. If you've been scheming against me, that means you've been watching for a little while. You've been trying to figure out what it is about me that's most weak, most frail, most vulnerable, so that you can take it.
Okay, so that's a little clip I wanted y'all to hear. Tell me if y'all know where that's from. Tell me if y'all know where that's from in the comments or whatever. I'll repost it on my Instagram so y'all can actually see the clip. So it's giving Porsha is ready for this reunion. And whoever was plotting and scheming on her, she said she forgive, but she coming back for that ass. Who do y'all think that she talking about? She either talking about Drew or she talking about Shamia. So that's my question. Is she gonna eat Drew up at the reunion? Is she gonna eat Shamia? Is she gonna eat both of them up? Tell me what y'all think in the comments. This gonna be fun, friend. So tell me what y'all think in the comments, and we can come back and I'm gonna come back and read these comments when I do a live, so we can see who predicted what during the reunion. I predict Porsha's gonna read Shamia for being fake and expose why Shamia mama did something to Porsha mama. And I think that she also gonna read Drew too. And I think Angela might read Phaedra. Even though I think Angela is the one who set everything up, I think that it's gonna come off like Angela read Phaedra. Because for some reason, I don't know. Well, back in the day though, when Phaedra was wrong, Phaedra couldn't read the girls down at the reunion. She read Kenya down. She used to read the dog shit out of Kenya, we know that. But Nene used to always get on Phaedra and read her down. I don't know, y'all. Tell me what y'all think gonna happen exactly. So I'm seated. I will be watching the reunion. I'll give y'all something tonight. I'll try to go live or post like a video of my initial thoughts. Just make sure you tuned in, friend, because I will be there with my charcuterie board. I'm gonna make me a charcuterie board and some drinks. I will be ready, exactly. Okay, so on to other things. Let's talk about the original strong face. Okay, sorry. Let me stop saying that because I keep breaking out, and I think it's because I be talking about people. The moral of the story is, so I'm gonna stop talking about people on this channel after today. Let's talk about Clarissa. No, okay, so Laila Ali, they were at a fight. I forgot the guy. It was a boxing match. I forgot the guy's name. Who had the boxing match last night. Anyway, so Remy and Clarissa was at this boxing match. Remy and Fat Joe were asked to perform for one of the guys and walk them out. You know what I'm saying? So Remy and Fat Joe was sitting on one side of the ring. On the other side of the ring was Papoose and Clarissa. They showed a clip on the Neighborhood Talk where, of course, Clarissa stood up looking like she wanted to be seen. I didn't repost this on my story because I didn't want to be like that. And I know Clarissa got a lot of money. Clarissa got a lot of money, but child, if y'all would have seen the black jumpsuit that she had on, it didn't even give Fashion Nova. It didn't even give a good brand of Amazon. It gave one of them Chinese wholesalers for $2.99 on Temu. It's just like, girl, and then she had on all of her chains and stuff. Baby, you probably got $100,000 worth of jewelry on your neck and you decided to put on a $5.99 jumpsuit? Girl, Clarissa, do better. Anyway, so they asked Laila Ali, because the Laila Ali, as in Muhammad Ali, as in one of the best female boxers there, of our time. The moral of the story is, so a reporter asked Laila Ali about possibly fighting Clarissa, because Clarissa is the best now. She said, yeah, they've been asking her about it, but she would consider it for about $15 to $20 million. She's like, if you come with 15 or 20 million dollars, then maybe I'll punch this bitch in her face. She said maybe she'll consider it. So Clarissa then responds and says, I'm the greatest now. Be careful what you ask for. I've been ready for you. #quote. Okay, so all bullshit aside, all split ends, all $7 store jumpsuits aside, I do think that Clarissa is the best of our era. She's the best at what she does. She's great at what she does. I've seen some of her matches and stuff. I watched bits and pieces of her biopic, but I didn't watch the whole thing. So let's give her props where props is due. Clarissa is a great in her own right, and she does monopolize her, industry or whatever. Do y'all think that Clarissa is being cocky by telling Laila Ali that I've been ready for you? I'm the greatest now. You were the greatest then. I'm the greatest now. Who y'all money on? Because Laila, she said, oh, you think you ready? And she was like, yeah, I am ready. Like, yeah, I can still do it. She was saying that, like, I'm still in the gym. I'm still training. Laila Ali still looks good. Do y'all think that Laila would beat Clarissa? And do y'all think it's disrespectful for Clarissa to say that to her? My whole thing is it kind of reminds me of people comparing LeBron to Jordan. It's just like Michael Jordan to me is gonna be the greatest of all time just because that was the era that I grew up in. You know what I'm saying? And nobody's playing basketball sick with the flu, shooting, fadeaways, winning games and stuff the way Michael has done. So I'll always consider MJ the great over LeBron. But I can see how like the young people, like, hey, he's younger, he's like with a new era, da da da. Tell me who y'all money on. If Clarissa and Laila had a fight, who is y'all money on? Baby, speaking of money, I bet you Papoose is rubbing his hands like Birdman. Woo, what happened to that boy? I bet you he thinking, damn, I hope they do have a fight because Papoose feel like he gonna cash in. He could get another car in her name or maybe get his jewelry out the pawn shop. I don't know. But I'm sure Papoose, to me, Papoose gives gold digger. But I digress. Anyway, let's move on. Okay, so click off the video if you ain't watching Love and Marriage Huntsville, because this last part finna be all about Love and Marriage Huntsville. I'm finna drag the dog shit out of the hoe from Detroit, Kimmy and her kinky curly straight hair, and Tisha actually looked really, really cute last night. So Carlos King did a reality with the King, like a special episode, preview episode, with Kimmy Scott and Letitia Scott. And then he also played the super trailer. If y'all haven't seen the super trailer, it's all over the internet. After we go through this little section, I'll let y'all listen to the trailer and I'm gonna tell y'all what I think. And I'm gonna tell y'all about Destiny and this nigga. Exactly. Anyway, so Carlos, first of all, starts off and calls them the first ladies of Huntsville, the OGs. You so funny. You so funny, Alvin and the Chipmunks. Not they the first ladies of Huntsville. First of all, Kimmy is the side chick of Huntsville. She can never be the first lady. And in this, Kimmy low-key kind of admits to being a side chick. Just listen to what I'm telling you, friend. And I'm going to show you how. Oh, boy, what is this? Is this some makeup? And I'm going to tell y'all how Kimmy low-key kind of admitted, like, girl, you been lying all of this time. I guess, yeah. So he starts out by asking, them about their marriages. And they do like a flashback clip of when Tisha, approached Marceau season 1, wanting to do business. And she said her marriage is still traditional with kind of like a modern twist. Meaning she still got to take care of them kids, cook, and Marceau still run everything. But now she got a little bit more leverage, so sometimes he let her go outside. Anyway, then they flash back to Kimmy, and they talk about how Kimmy had to navigate the whole Kiowa thing. And they show a flashback of when Kimmy, Kiowa, and Maurice sat down. And after the clip, when Carlos was asking Kimmy about it, she was like, yeah, because you had to stop me from choking him and her. I don't know where Kimmy got this Billy badass attitude this season. But I think we're going to see Kimmy in a very sassy, badass. I think they done inflated her head full of that kinkily, curly, straight tracks or something. And Kimmy thinks she's that bitch. Exactly. I think her support animal then pumped some juice into her because she's on go. She said that she was trying not to choke him and Kiowa. I wish they'd bring Kiowa on. Bring Kiowa on. Kimmy, since you Billy badass, because Kiowa ain't no punk. Anyway, and so then Carlos asked her, he was like, what about you took someone's husband? Because those were the rumors that you took someone's husband. And Tisha starts laughing. And Tisha said, did you take somebody's husband or was he already gone? They snickling and giggling. Tisha, you so fake, bitch. Because we remember when you sat down with Kiowa season 1 and y'all was talking about Kimmy. So isn't it ironic that at first you was all team Kiowa, but now you snickling and giggling with Kimmy talking about, did you take her husband or was he already gone? And then Kimmy replies and say, she gave him away. Come on, se llama? Hold on. Hold on, little gidget. Kimmy, all of this time you was saying they wasn't together. They wasn't together. He was already filing for divorce, so and so and so and so on. But now when Tisha's snickling and giggling, and you up there with Carlos King, you gonna say, oh, she gave him away? So he was married to that girl, and you are a side bitch. Come here, Kimmy. Baby, Kimmy, you ain't no girl. Kimmy, after all of these years, so Martell was right. Martell was right, you was a side chick. Kaya was said that you got involved in their marriage. And you talking about you was trying not to choke him and her. Bring Kiowa on. Justice for Kiowa. Exactly. After 10 seasons, we need a justice. I'm going to get some Justice for Kiowa shirts. Because, Kimmy, that little sly comment, she gave him away. No, whore, your coochie. Your coochie interjected between her and that man marriage. Whether they was trying to reconcile or do whatever. No wonder you said you were filming with Orion. Because you her auntie. Girl, get the fuck out of here. Anyway, so then they started talking about how Tisha had a rough time for a very long time because of the fans. Basically, she was a weak bitch. She was mad because everybody was calling her out about being a bad friend and being jealous of Melody. Exactly. And then Kimmy talks about how she was taking it out on everybody else. Tisha said that she's surprised that she didn't get divorced and lose all of her friends because she was basically a miserable bitch. Kimmy said it was times where like she took them out to dinner and was going off on them and stuff. So my whole thing is, was that a whole bunch of projecting you were doing to Melody when Melody was on the show? Because you seemed miserable, but you kept blaming Melody for everything, when in actuality, we just found out that you was a miserable bitch. You was just depressed or going through something or was mad that the fans didn't like you. I guess, child. They started talking about the boys' trip, and they had a flashback to the Atlanta trip. Then they started talking about the NDA situation, because we know the first episode is called NDAs, and we talking about Chris telling Nell that Maurice and Marceau the types that make girls sign NDAs, and he not like that. So Tisha said he the one that needs to start being transparent. I'm from Bessemer. Okay, bitch, so you drink Bud Lights and what, smoke cigarettes? Like, what the fuck do you being from Bessemer? You got a speech impediment? That's what we do know. We know you and your mama can't talk. So is that a Bessemer trait? Exactly. I don't know. So Tisha talking tough. Like, yeah, Chris, you need to be transparent. I'm from Bessemer and I don't give a fuck about none of that. Then Kenny chimes in. And she said she was most offended because that situation had nothing to do with Maurice and Marceau. Why did Chris Fletcher drag Maurice and Marceau into that situation? Mind you, when Chris Fletcher said it, remember Nell was getting on his case because he allegedly hooked Martell up with Trish. So, Kenny is right. That didn't have shit to do with Marceau and Maurice. That conversation had nothing to do with him. It had everything to do with Chris Fletcher and Martell being some hoes out in the streets. Allegedly. Allegedly. But yet and still, Chris Fletcher was trying to deflect from getting in trouble by mentioning that they had NDAs. But also, bitch, you're trying to deflect as well. Who gives a fuck if they drug him in it? Did you ask Maurice, did he have the NDAs? Regardless of y'all being mad at Chris, y'all not addressing, this is the problem. So I hope Miss Nell get in their ass during this season, because you are deflecting. You're mad at Chris for saying something, but are you mad at the actual fact that your husband might be having girls sign NDAs? Are you going to address the interview? They are going to address the interview. Anyway, so they dragging him or whatever. She said that was the bothersome part. Kimmy said that was the bothersome part. The bothersome part wasn't that your man allegedly be making girls sign NDAs, and you already know he got caught out drunk from the club and told your ass that he's not. He told your ass on Carlos King's show, I'm not finna be coming in this house. I told you that already. Then we find out that Maurice and Marceau go kind of get into it about the whole Jalen situation. because Jalen is going to tell Maurice basically that he feels like the way you parent Monster is different from the way that you parent me. And because I started working with Marceau, I consider Marceau more of a father figure. And Kimmy said, well, they shocked me. So, Kimmy, let me get this straight, bitch. You half 100. You're half 100. When you met him, you were a seasoned nurse, making good money, had already put your son through college, and life was great. You married into the Scott family. This man embarrassed you, was trying to hunch on you when you had cancer, embarrassed you, never apologized, continuously embarrasses you. Allegedly, you was the one who paid for law school. This is all in my opinion. Allegedly, Kimmy is the one who paid for his law school. That's what one of the Scotts brothers said. And on top of all of that, he wasn't treating your son. Jalen felt like he wasn't treating him the way he treated his own son. Meanwhile, he got you in there cooking and raising his son. But he not treating your son the same way that he treat his son. Kimmy is getting dumber by the minute. Kimmy is the Rashida of Huntsville. I said it. It needed to be said. And you know what? I'm going to step out on a limb and say that Kimmy is dumber than Letitia. The reason I say this is because I expect more from Kimmy. Tisha just seems kind of like naive, maybe the book smart, but not necessarily, you know, got all her marbles, like her, you know, the cornbread ain't cooked all the way in the middle. But Kimmy, you got sense. And you got sense enough to talk about everybody else and check everybody else, but you ain't checked your man. And after all of that, you was raising his son. Remember, because she said she wasn't sure if she was ready to raise kids because she had already raised her son and put him through college. But then you brung your son down in the house where I had to raise a whole nother child, go back and forth with you and Kiowa about parenting, cook meals and shit. And remember, during that season, she was saying that Maurice, she was basically doing all of the parenting and Maurice wasn't doing nothing because he was too busy running the streets and shit, remember? On Harry Hines, allegedly. Girl, Kimmy about the dumbest. Like I said, Kimmy is the Rashida of Huntsville. Yes, exactly. So that was pretty much the episode. That was pretty much the episode when he was, you know, it was cute. I will say that I don't like that hair on Kimmy. It's natural, but it ages her. She looks like the mother hen. And I think that's one of the reasons why Kimmy has such a beef with Nell, because Kimmy wants to be the mother hen. And I feel like with Nell coming in, Nell taking her spot. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like, Kimmy thought this was her moment. Girl, what I will say, though, is Tisha looked really, really pretty. I like Tisha in this orange. She looked really cute, and her hair was slayed. Slayed, exactly. So, shout out to Tisha. Shout out to Tisha. But what I will say is, in this interview, teabaggers, exactly. So, teabaggers, y'all might like me for a second, but you ain't finna like me now. Exactly. Because Tisha looked like a drunk-ass fool in this trailer when she was all up in Miss Nell's face and talking to Chris and started pointing at Chris. Miss Nell it's no doubt in my mind that Miss Nell will slide the hell out of Tisha. I told y'all this a long time ago. When I told y'all months ago that it was going to be the Scotts versus the Fletchers, it's for certain that Tisha will get slid by Miss Nell. That's why you call Wanda, old lady Wanda. And why Miss Wanda girl, why did Miss... Okay, we're going to get into the trailer. So we're going to listen to the trailer. I'm going to stop and tell y'all, what happened or whatever. So let's get into the trailer real quick. This is the super trailer that dropped.
Okay, so who do you think is wrong between Martell and Marcel? They're both wrong. Martell swears that what he's saying is true. But then on the other hand, Marcel says what he's saying is true.
Okay, so at the beginning, they talking about, of course, the Harry Hines thing. Allegedly, when they was fighting in the park, Marceau was saying something about the baby mama, Coleslaw Orion, and that's why they came with the Harry Hines girl in the interview, da 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 da. So this Miss Nell asking Chris Fletcher, who you think wrong? You know Chris Fletcher always got a political, answer. So, but I think this is how all of the drama gonna start between the Scotts and the Fletchers. And that's Martell, the infamous scene when he was telling about how Tisha was in the backseat of a Buick sucking Zick from the back, allegedly. That's what Martell said. Don't come. He also was like, what you mean I can't fuck her? Do y'all think Martell could hit Tisha if he wanted to? I don't know.
I think all the stuff he said has been awful. And extremely at all.
And of course,
this Tisha and Kimmy in denial.
Tisha got on live.
Yeah, one thing we know about Martell is Martell's a liar. He played with the fans' mind and tell them, hey, I got proof, I got proof. Show your proof. Leave him alone because I can say a lot more.
Okay, so remember when she was on the Carlos King thing and she was like, okay, you keep talking all of that shit. This was right after the episode aired. I remember this. And she said that Martell was gay. Now, I wonder, are they going to actually get into the minutia and everything she said in the interview? Are y'all going to talk about her alleging that Martell is gay? So outside of the Harry Hines interview, Martell, I'm assuming, is coming with a vengeance. Because I had forgot all about the fact that Tisha said he was gay. Are you going to try to defend the gay rumors too, Martell? I don't know, child.
We talk about me and mom, we'll talk about you and yours now.
This bald head bitch coming with a vengeance, child.
How do you ladies feel about Martell's envy? I was wrong that. I said this.
Okay, so this is the scene. We get Miss Nell, Trish with her braids, G.I. Joe with her braids, and Leather in the summertime, child. No, I think it's the winter. And then Tisha and Kimmy. And Miss Nell is basically asking them, what do y'all think about the interview? What y'all think about the interview? This, I think, is where the problems start because they're going to try to avoid it and act like they didn't just say y'all husband was hitting both of the Harry Hines girls. Trish said, ain't this the fakest ghetto backwood? I know. Trish, did you forget that blonde wig you had on last year looking like Tu Wong Fu? Baby, Trish, I know you ain't on here clowning nobody, child. Now, in Trish's defense, Harry Hines' girl did look a ghetto-ass funky mess, but I digress. Martell said, I brought one of many. I am so sick of Maurice trying to play peacemaker. Maurice has always tried to play peacemaker only to keep his indiscretions under wraps. Remember during the reunion when they started talking about them meeting Ariane and he tried to hush it up real quick and then Kimmy asked him, had he ever met her, and he told a bold-faced lie? Maurice is such a lying, bald-headed bitch, and I don't like Maurice for the same reason I don't like Drew Sidora. I don't like people who try to play like they innocent and they good, but you the worst of the worst. Anyway, so now we getting ready to get into Destiny. Destiny Payton splits from ex-boyfriend Lance Fletcher. Secret love child revealed. Mind you, remember we talked about this when he posted his daughter, his oldest daughter, and his youngest, like brand new baby. This was around Christmas.
Destiny reached out to me, and it was like, you could have told me.
I first heard that Lance had a baby on the internet.
So Destiny is mad at Miss Nell because Miss Nell didn't tell her about a girl being pregnant or them having a baby or whatever. What mama gonna tell you? If the son don't tell you, the mama ain't gonna tell you. You better stop thinking that mama's your friend.
So you gonna be dating anyone else?
If somebody piques my interest and they ask me out, I'm going to say yes.
She flirting with my godson, Twan. Why?
Okay. This word's finna get good. So Miss Nell is saying she's flirting with my godson, Twine. Enters Twine. Now, y'all already know I found Twine. I found Twine a long time ago when we first seen Twine. Exactly. We'll talk about Twine in a minute, girl.
Didn't you tell me before you posted it on the internet?
So Destiny on the date with Twine and with Lance.
I mean, what the f is this? It's dope for all good-looking men that's surrounded by this Nail family. Get back.
So she asked Twine, have you effed Destiny? So Lance, Miss Nail, and Twine meet up. Lance said, hey, I finally talked to Destiny. You know, I confronted her. She confronted me about this baby and shit. Twine are just smiling. Twine didn't already talk to Destiny. Miss Nail's like, hey, this is my godson. So, of course, him and Lance know each other. Damn, Destiny, you fucking with family? You fucking with the family?
They get you because you got a new baby?
That lady be so out of line. It's just ridiculous. Like, she need to sit down.
So, Destiny out on a date with the godson.
All these men you got going on like this. Don't be putting bodies on me and mouths on my coochie.
Destiny said, don't be putting bodies on me and mouths on my coochie. Destiny. The girl from Detroit. We ain't got to do that, Pooh. We just using the material that you gave us, Pooh. Straight from the storage facility. You gave us LeBaric. You was flirting with Jalen early on. Who else did I forget? It's rumors about you and Martell. Now it's Lance. Now it's Lance. Now it's Twine. Now let's talk about Twine. I wish I would have went live. I'ma go live when the show come on. I'ma go live and I'ma show y'all what I'm talking about. Twine. Twine's name is Twine the Machine. I think Twine is like a bodybuilder, security guard. I added Twine on Instagram back in January. So in January, remember Destiny had that Madani event where she had on a red dress and it was like a real nice setup. It was filmed. We seen it last season. So when Martell and Marceau got into it outside on the balcony, exactly. So if you check out the reels on Destiny's page, the guy that was with her, I was wondering, I was like, that guy seems like he's her date. Because first, he could have been security because he's tall. He has locks in his head. I'm not 100% sure that that's Twine, but it looks like Twine. It looks like Twine. But he walked out with Destiny. And I'm thinking, okay, well, maybe that's her security. But he was like in the back of all of her reels. And even when she was in a room with her family and friends, he was also there. So I was like, who is this random dude with these locks with Destiny? So I found him on Instagram because he's also friends with Lance. Remember, we also seen him at the ceremony. Remember at Miss Nell and Chris Fletcher's anniversary ceremony, Lance confronted her about flirting with him. Now, I knew it wasn't a random guy because he was also holding Mrs. Nell's gown. He was also, go back and look at the episode. He was also holding Miss Nell's gown. So when I did the review, I was like, Miss Nell and them know him. Lance and them know that guy that Destiny is flirting with because he was in the wedding. So, of course, I went to Instagram. So when I went to Instagram, he's friends with Chris Fletcher. He's friends with Lance Fletcher. He's also friends with Destiny Payton. Exactly. So I was like, okay, so his name is Twine the Machine. His name's Twine. His name's Twine, girl. So my whole thing is, when Destiny had her grand opening, I didn't see Lance at the grand opening, but I saw Twine. Or what looks to be Twine. I don't know if it's him. This is what I think, friend. I think that Destiny talked to Twine, and I think that Lance was just used as a storyline to be on the show. I don't think she never really talked to Lance like that. I don't. Destiny, we've never even seen Destiny with a short man. Moses tall, LeBaric tall. Lance don't fall anywhere in those guidelines. Lance fine, granted. Granted, Lance is fine, but you ain't tall. It's Lance next to Twine. It's giving she want a big dog. I want a big dog. I don't know, Destiny, but that's some hoe ass behavior. But let's continue.
What up, y'all? Y'all ready to party? Mic check, 1, 2. Thank y'all so much for coming back to the 80s Jam. We here to celebrate life. We here to have a good time, so we want to see some moves on the dance floor, okay?
Okay. Tisha, her annoying voice. We want to see some moves on the dance floor. Okay. Exactly. Okay. No, bitch. Exactly. So this 80s party they're having is giving definitely Married to Medicine, a knockoff Freaknik, but it's not as good. The auditorium look empty as a motherfucker. At least on the Freaknik in Atlanta, they had people coming in low riders, real outfit. You know what I'm saying? They was really giving it. We all know that Letitia Teabagger Scott ain't got an original thought to her brain. We all know that. She probably watched Married to Medicine and was like, we should do that. Okay, bitch. Exactly. So that's that.
Check it out. 'Cause I'm coming for the crowd. Coming up for the crowd. I'm coming for the crowd. 'Cause I'm coming for the crowd. What is this? She's still on that order.
She stood all of them up, all 4 of them. Jalen, Lance, Will, and Twan.
Baby, did y'all just hear that? Martell messy, tacky ass. Leave it to Martell to be messy. Martell said, so Miss Nell was like, where is Destiny? She stood my son up talking about Lance. Here come Martell messy ass talking about some, no, she stood all 4 of them up. She stood up Jalen. Destiny, you still popping that cat around Jalen? You know Jalen called himself the Cougar Slayer. Destiny, please don't tell me you over there popping that cat around Jalen way. I don't know. But he said Jalen, Lance, Will. I'm like, como sa Will? Okay, do y'all remember who Will is? Will is Ken's best friend. The other tall buff dude. Remember they were sitting in that old ass bar with 3 of them 3 stooges on the chair? So I knew that Will was going to be on the show because Ken need a friend and they have a podcast together called The Wicked Something. So Destiny, you talk to Will too? Girl, give that cat a rest. You don't have to give everybody an eighth of cat that you meet that's cute and tall. But that just goes to show you, Will is cute, tall, and buff. Everybody Destiny seems to like or is attached to is tall and cute and buff. Moses, LeBerick, not so much on the cute end. Twan, so I don't know, child. Anyway, but Twan, Will, but all of them fine. Y'all gotta look at the trailer because Twan fine, Will fine, Jalen cute in a nerdy kind of way. Lance fine, he just short. I don't know. So Destiny, they painting you out to be the whole of the your cat is on the house. Basically, this is what Carlos King is telling you. We still didn't get anything from Destiny though. Like, girl, what are you doing with your life outside of passing around cat or at least putting it up as an appetizer? I don't know. We should call her Chili.
She got herself upset with me. Oh, Miss Nell. The old lady Nell.
Baby. So Tisha running to Wanda, talking about Miss Nell because Tisha can't handle Miss Nell. You can't take Miss Nell. So she's running to Wanda and Destiny and Kimmy is there too. And Wanda gonna say, old lady Nell, no, this French roll, Bud Light, Black and Miss Wanda, how you gonna call Miss Nell old lady Nell? Ain't y'all around the same age? Exactly. And both of y'all, girl, Miss Wanda crazy. So I wonder if Miss Wanda and Miss Nell gonna get into it. This what I don't like though. And I knew this was gonna happen. And Miss Nell, this is partially your fault because you chose the wrong team. This is the definition of I chose the wrong team. And look, now Mel ain't there. Now you're out there on the damn island by yourself. Because outside of Destiny coming at you because you said her cat was on the house with all of your family. She running through your family like a Tomb Raider. She got that passing around coochie. She a hot potato. I told her, eat it or get out. This is ultimatum. But stop eating my coochie hard. That shit aggravating. Hey, he ain't mine. I just let him eat it out from time to time. I'm sorry, y'all. Do y'all know that song? Exactly. That's that old school Megan. The moral of the story is they all ganging up on Miss Nell, and that's some wrong shit. So not only can Tisha can't handle her, so you got Kimmy chiming in, and you got Miss Nell, and you got Destiny. Y'all some punk ass bitches, low key. Y'all did the same thing to Mel. You can't stand on your own. All of y'all some jellyfish assholes. And when I mean that, I mean ain't there one of y'all got a backbone. Because if that was the case, why are y'all running in a pack and trying to gang up on Miss Nell? Miss Nell, where is your niece at? Girl, I guess. Yes, Kimmy. We think your husband is cheating and you don't want to talk about it. Duh, bitch. Exactly. Girl, if I'm Miss Nell, I'm going to be like, yes, bitch. That's exactly what I'm saying. That's exactly what I'm saying. Why do we have to listen to this for 5,000 seasons? We've been said that your husband was cheating. The officer that arrested Maurice probably told you, girl, your husband was cheating. He smelled just like Chanel No. 6 when we picked him up at 11:30 a.m. and why you went to Credit One because you thought you didn't know where the hell your husband was. He was fresh off some cat. Allegedly. Kimmy, yes. Exactly. Kimmy is giving Letitia Scott. Kimmy is by far one of the biggest disappointments in reality TV today.
Marshall wasn't the only person that your invited guest talked about on her interview.
All right, so now this is what I want to see. Maurice is confronting Martell because, like I've been saying, that Harry Hines girl also said that Maurice, you was there getting it on with her in Vegas too. So Maurice is confronting Martell, but listen to this. Martell ain't backing down. He face to face with you saying, yes, I seen you fuck girls. Listen to this shit.
Are you saying we got the chick together? Yeah, bro. Okay.
He said, Maurice said, are you saying we fucked the chick together? Martell said, yeah, bro. You know what? I don't mind if Martell terrorized these hoes.
So, what's your name? You witness me and this young lady. What does my look like?
Maurice talking about what's her name? When was it? You seen me put my dick in somebody else. What my dick look like? Maurice is an attorney. Let's be clear. He's coming with specific questions to try to prove his innocence. Martell may not have seen you insert. Martell might not have seen that. He might not have been right there like, man. He might not have been right there. But he might have known. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on now. Come on now. Maurice uses semantics. He uses those attorney what's her name? Do you remember her name? You probably don't remember half of these hoes' names. So how was he gonna remember it? Girl, Maurice just doing this to save face for Kimmy. Trust.
I grew up with the Golden Child, and Jalen sees Porsha as the Golden Child 2.0.
So this is when Maurice and Marceau gonna get into it a little bit. I guess some old school sibling rivalry. And Jalen is gonna let Maurice know that, hey, I feel like you treated Monster differently from me. And Marceau is more of a mentor, I guess, than I am. Kimmy, you stupid as fuck.
When I started working with Marceau, I kind of gravitated to him for the father figure aspect. The divorce, right? I called the courthouse. They said wait for a court.
All right, and this is the end, child. Mr. and Mrs. Muscles, a.k.a. G.I. Jane, G.I. Joe, a.k.a. Thick Neck 1 and Thick Neck 2. The Thick Necks, we at the Thick Necks house. So Ken and Trish have Marquez. Remember, I forgot Marquez's name. Why was Marquez fighting for a police officer and ended up in the hospital the other day, y'all? Girl, it was all on his story. Marquez be having a lot going on. Anyway, so Marquez is over Thick Neck's house. and they talking about the divorce. The divorce is not final. Marceau is laughing, talking about something. They probably gonna end up together. I believe this is when they getting ready to get into a fight. They try to jump him. Remember, Marquez said he pulled out a. Somebody pulls out a. Exactly. I don't know, but this when the fight started.
Because honestly, you put on and said we had no minor children.
Bro, that's a lie. Bro, you know we can prove it. It's right here, bro. It's right here.
Hey, y'all better.
Okay, now Ken is charging at Marquez. Marquez like, man, it's gonna be different. Y'all better watch it. Y'all better watch it. Thick Neck 1 and 2. Why y'all trying to jump that man in y'all house? That's too much playing. Please. And then the crazy part about it is when you see Ken get free, he ain't do nothing unless we go see him do something, and they gonna end up getting into a fight. But what we do know is somebody pulls the blicky. Marquez gonna end up getting fired. Remember, because he sent all of that hateful shit and talked about blowing up, the whole cast and doing all of the things. So we know this gonna turn into an ignorant ass situation.
No, they're not divorced. He contested a divorce. Marquez and Trish gonna mess around and get back together.
You stated something about having their girls to sign an NDA.
No, that's all backwards.
Right here.
That's all backwards, Chris. What the fuck, Chris? Chris, I know you not backpedaling and coochie popping after you done got your wife in all of this drama with these pinhead fucking Scott sisters, and you talking about some whatever. That is, if y'all want to know what that wild hyena is, that's Tisha. What you did, girl? Tisha look drunk boots. Tisha look drunk boots, pointing her finger all like she talking to Chris, and Miss Nell like, hold on, ho. I'm gonna slide your ass. I wonder if at this cowboy event, I wonder is Miss Nell niece and her daughters in them there. Because if you slide Tisha, Kimmy gonna jump into it, and Miss Nell needs some backup. But Miss Nell ain't going. And Tisha, why you trying to check Chris Fletcher, bitch? You don't never try to check Marcel and his.
Don't do that. Teacher Scott need to mind her own business and keep my family's business on her mother mouth.
Baby.
You have a problem with me? That's not, I don't know what it is. Keep my name out your mother. What is this? Oh,
So, Miss Nell is talking to Tisha. Kimmy jumps in, and Miss Nell like, hold on, it ain't gonna be no double team. You not finna double team me, bitch. And then Kenny says, I'll throw you in that pool. You won't throw me no motherfucking word. Child. So towards the end, like I said, Tisha like, you got a problem with me. Miss Nell sitting back in a hot pink long gown looking good. It looked like they going to different places. Tisha looked dressed up. Miss Nell got on a hot pink long dress, and Kimmy got on an army fatigue jacket. So Kimmy, I don't know where the fuck you was going, because everybody else looked nice. And Kimmy got on an army fatigue jacket. The moral of the story is, Kimmy, you got a lot of balls, don't you? You got a lot of balls this season to sit up and tell Miss Nell before I throw you in that pool. Miss Nell must have hopped up and said, nah, bitch, you ain't throwing nobody in no motherfucking pool whenever you get through. And Kimmy hopped up, and it looked like I said, it looked like it was, you know what I'm saying? They was about to get swinging. I don't know, friend. I don't know. Who y'all money on? That's all I want to know, because I'm finna get the hell out of here. Who y'all money on between Miss Nell and Kimmy? I hope Miss Nell, I really want Miss Nell to drag them down to the ground. But I don't know. Kimmy got height on Miss Nell, but height don't mean nothing. I done seen some short people whoop some tall people ass. Exactly. I don't know, child. But Lexi already told us Miss Nell know how to fight. Remember when Lexi was talking about, shout out to Lexi, Chris Fletcher daughter. Remember when she was giving us the chapters? She told us that Miss Nell can throw hands. Like, no, because I ain't want to play around with her because she got hands. So I don't know, child. All I do know is I think they definitely propping Kimmy up to be kind of like the star of the show. Kimmy still is starless. She's not funny. She's not funny. She can't, I don't know. I'm not here for Kimmy. And the sad part about Kimmy is your husband still make you look like a fool. You could do all of this Billy badass shit with Miss Nell because her husband said something about that. But at the end of the day, your husband still said he not coming home early. He said he's still not coming home early. He just got caught with the drunk driving shit. And then to top it all off, after you got done helping raise his child, your son is saying that he didn't even treat me like a good step. Like he wasn't even a good father figure to me. Kimmy should feel like a fucking fool, I guess, child. Anyway, so we had no traces of dandruff, split ends or whatever. She's nowhere in this trailer, but we also know that Love and Marriage Huntsville is such a long season. We might get like a mid-season trailer or a break or whatever. So it looks like Martell still ain't got no storyline for real. His storyline is still beefing with Maurice and Marceau. We still wondering if Maurice and Marceau cheating, and the Scotts are ganging up on another woman to try to deflect from the fact that they man cheating. Trish and them still battling with Marquez. Once Marquez gone, what y'all gonna talk about? I don't know, child. I don't know. Outside of Nell going upside of Tisha head, that was it. Tell me if y'all watched the trailer, what y'all think of the trailer. Teabaggers come to the front. Scottalots, exactly. We don't have the millimeters no more because most of the millimeters not watching. Scottalots come to the front. Say your piece. Y'all can drag me because I'm damn sure gonna drag them. Exactly. Anyway, tell me if y'all gonna watch the reunion tonight. Is Porsha gonna tell me your reunion predictions? Exactly. Is Porsha gonna drag the girls? Will Phaedra get drugged by Angela? What's the real tea? Are you happy that Meg is dating Klay? And who you got between Clarissa and Laila Ali? Exactly. Today was good. Okay, exactly. In case you didn't like, make sure you like the video. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you follow me on all platforms. Twitch, On the Rocks with Jada. I'm going to try to put my bike together today, probably on Twitch, girl. We'll see. And follow me on Instagram and all of the other things. I'll talk to y'all later on tonight, friend. Thank you. Bye-bye.